All right, so we got UFC 320 this Saturday. We have Alex Pieta versus Ankalaev. We have the co-main is going to be Merab versus Corey Sandhagen. And then we have the real Rountree versus, what's his name? Jiri. So those are the real three fights that I guess anybody really would care about. What do you think the other fights? Should we go over those other ones, or it's not a big deal?
I think those are the big fights. I mean, I guess we can just point out that Patchy Mix is going to be fighting in his second fight in the prelims. So anybody who's a fan of him and was disappointed with his first outing, or if there's any more haters that want to see him fall again, tune into that fight because he's on that card. I'm interested in the fight just to see, his mindset and how he, enters this fight, and if it's going to be any different than his first one. So I'm interested for that point alone. But that's a fight that.
Do you know anything about his opponent besides the fact that his opponent fought the same dude for like the last 6 years in a row?
Nah, I don't know nothing. That's the only information I got on him. I'm just baffled that the UFC signed this guy. Like, how do we know truly if this guy is good when he only fought the same guy for 10 years? So, like, my opinion, the UFC just was trying to sign a layup for Patchy. Like, you did so bad the first time. Let me give you something, you know what I'm saying, to get our money worth from signing you.
I mean, that's pretty crazy if you think about it. Wouldn't you think, like, with a name like Patchy Mixes, because he's not household at all, but like if you're a hardcore fan, you're going to know who Patchy Mix is. And you would think that they would put him against somebody, maybe the person doesn't have to be ranked, but they would be somebody else who maybe people are familiar with, not like a complete stranger signed from a different part of the world, right? He comes from like Europe somewhere, right?
But they did the same thing with Pitbull. Pitbull, I mean, his fight got canceled. Because he was scheduled for a fight a couple weeks ago against a guy that was making his debut. My only guess is that they're trying to make good on their investment. They sign these guys. They want them to do good. Otherwise they wouldn't have signed them. They have that name recognition. I'm only guessing that they're signing these unknown guys from regional shows to put against these Bellator guys to essentially get their money worth. And then hopefully there's something that they can progress in a better way after that fight. Give them a little layup, and then.
I mean, it makes. I guess it would probably make a little bit more sense for Patchy as opposed to Pitbull, though, because Pitbull actually did fight two well-known people at this point, right?
Yeah, he did beat Danny Ige.
And he fought Yair. Those are names, and he's ranked, right? Pitbull is ranked, right? What is he? He's got to be in the top 15 now, because
has to be top 15 because he beat Ige.
Yeah, so he's in the top 15. So for him to fight like somebody that's coming from outside of the organization is a little strange. I feel like you would put him against somebody else who's ranked and let that dude fight like somebody else who's not. I guess what they're trying to do is put these dudes right into the rankings. Yeah. And so they want them to fight somebody who's right in the rankings. But here's the thing with Patchy. Patchy Mix is not in the rankings, though, because he didn't win. So he's not in the rankings.
No, he's not in the rankings, no.
So,
but I would say maybe with Pitbull's situation is maybe Pitbull wanted to fight soon. So they was like, okay, we have this guy. So if you want to fight now, we'll give you this guy. So I'm guessing in his situation, that would be the case. But for Patchy, I think it's more of a layup. Like, we're going to give you a win. That's
something for you to come back to. So, I mean, on paper, Patchy Mix should win then, if that's the case, right? Like, we don't know who this guy is. Like, Patchy should be able to come out on top. And then after that, then maybe he fights to get inside the rankings, I guess. After that?
Yeah, depending on what type of performance, he puts up.
Yeah, and after that, he should fight again in the rankings. And as long as he goes out there and continues to, he has to address his ability to strike and close the distance for his wrestling. I think that's like the biggest hole that I see in his game is his ability to get it from where it is to where he wants it to be. Yeah. Obviously, his grappling is some of the best jiu-jitsu in MMA, period, right?
Yeah, definitely.
But his ability to close the gap, because I think he has
not that great.
He has more of like a Greco style where he likes to get like the body locks and things like that. But sometimes that the downside of wrestling like that is that it requires somebody to come to you.
Yeah.
If the person runs in at you, then you can just grab a body lock on them. Like if you watch when he fought against, forget the dude's name. He's actually getting ready to sign with the UFC too now. I forget his name. It'll come to me at some point, but a lot of times when they run at him, he'll grab him in the body lock. But if you want to be offensive with your wrestling, it works against you because what are you going to reach out for somebody's body? You can't do that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you have to find different ways to close that gap rather than just trying to reach out for them to grab him.
Exactly.
That's
So
not,
if he does that, though, if he can master that one aspect of just using his striking to either use counters to get inside with the wrestling or use his jabs and set up his close the distance and grab onto his opponent, that's
yeah,
gonna take him to the next level, because at that point now he can start bringing people to his world. You know what I'm saying? And
exactly.
when it comes to that grappling, he's definitely amongst the best in the whole UFC. So he's definitely gonna be able to do good things, and once he fixes that hole.
Yeah.
But all right, so now let's get into Khalil Rountree versus Jiri. Who do you have winning that one?
Honestly, I'm going to go with Khalil, and my reasoning for that is just because if you look at each fighter post Pereira, right? Post their Pereira fights, Prochazka hasn't really changed much since fighting Pereira. He's essentially the same guy, right? Whereas you look at Rountree has made massive adjustments within his game. If you look at when he fought Pereira, he was in a lot of those similar situations when he fought Jamal Hill. But he handled and addressed those situations drastically differently against Hill. When he had Pereira hurt, he went in for the kill, put himself in a line of danger, which, obviously it worked against him, right?
And he kind
Because
of gassed
even
himself out as well, right?
he gassed himself out and he got just too overzealous. Like any moment of any sign where he might have had Pereira hurt,
Yeah.
he went for the kill rather than just being more strategic about his approach in that situation. When he fought Hill, he handled it very differently. When he had Hill hurt, he didn't just brush forward to go for the finish. He stayed calm. He stayed calculated. A lot of people maybe not have liked that. They were just, there was definitely people that didn't agree with that approach. But I think that approach itself showed how much he's grown from the Pereira fight. Whereas again, Prochazka, he really didn't change. Like when he fought
Jamal's the only person that he
Jamal
fought out.
Jamal, yeah. He approached the fight the same way.
He
And
was a
he
little bit
didn't
more
do
head movement, I think, but that
a
was it.
little bit more head movement, but overall, like he didn't do much different. Like if you look at the comparison between him and Khalil, like you can see obviously how much Khalil has grown post Pereira fight. Because he was in a lot of those same situations against Hill and he just handled it like a veteran. So I think that is the reason why I'm gonna go with Khalil. Just because I feel like he's just a bit smarter. He fights a bit smarter. He doesn't put himself in the line of danger for too long. He's not really reckless. He's a little bit more strategic. He's a little bit more technical. He uses a bit more of an IQ. So I got him going, and I got him winning.
He plays devil's advocate because I don't have a dog in this race. I don't really care who wins.
Yeah.
I like both. I think they're both pretty decent. I think they're both decent fighters. So like, I don't care who wins, but I would argue that yes, Khalil might have gotten better since his last fight, but how much better was Jiri to begin with? How good was Jiri to begin with? So like, let's say if Khalil used to be a 6 and now he's a 7 or an 8. Well, what if Jiri was already an 8.5? You see what I'm saying? So even though he got a little bit better, it doesn't really make a difference, right? Like that would only matter if they were equal beforehand.
But we
But
don't really know.
we don't know
What
if they were
numbers
equal.
they either, because the only reason why I think Khalil, because you look at before Khalil fought Pereira, everybody was wondering why he was getting the title shot. I think he was ranked outside of the top 10. He might have been ranked 12 or 13 when he fought Pereira. And everybody was like baffled by this decision for him to get a title shot. They didn't think that he was ready. They didn't think he was going to be able to compete. They thought that, he was just beneath Pereira. And when he went in there, he showed that he's on that level. He is a top tier fighter. He is a championship caliber fighter. So that leads me to believe that Khalil might be, he might have been believed to be maybe a 6, but all along he might have been an 8, based on that
Type of deal.
performance.
So yeah, the thing is that I think it's tough to say just because styles make fights, right? Like
Yeah.
all we can do is compare them to fighting Alex Pieta. They both lost to Alex, but it doesn't really matter that they both lost. What matters is the styles, right? Because both of them have different styles. If you look at somebody like Jiri, for example, I think Jiri kind of just got caught, right? Like he wasn't just getting beat up. He got caught and then he got finished twice.
Yeah, but the second fight
twice though. So I mean,
the second fight was worse though. The second fight was worse. The first fight he had moments. The second fight he got caught twice. He almost got knocked out in the first.
He got caught twice. That's what I'm saying. Like he's consistently getting caught, but like outside of getting caught, I think he does pretty decently against Alex. Like for example, take away the knockout, he does pretty well against Alex. Like he does well against Alex. Whereas if you look at the Khalil fight, he did well in like the first round, second round, and then it went downhill because he kind of miscalculated his energy systems, right? Like he got gassed out. So it wasn't really like he didn't get knocked out with like a fluke. He got beat down just because he was just not as smart of a fighter. You see what I'm saying? So like it's hard to compare because they both fought him, but they're two different styles.
But let me ask you this.
Go ahead.
No, finish your thought, and I'll tell you after.
Well, what I was gonna say is that like I feel like if I just had to give him the eyeball test, I feel like because if you look at Jiri hasn't lost to really anyone except for Alex Pieta. Jiri has a great style and he beats pretty much everyone. Alex literally just has his number. That happens. Like sometimes somebody just literally has your number specifically. Whereas I feel like Jamal Hill, there's more wiggle room for him to have. He's been beaten by other people, right?
Early in his career. He was on a win streak.
I think it's gonna boil down to some kind of. I think it's gonna boil down to who shows up that night. I think they both have good styles, but from eyeballing it, I think Yuri's the better fighter. But obviously, he's not the smarter fighter. I think he fights like he's kind of crazy. But like he has a lot of physical attributes. Like he's just wild. He's unpredictable. He's super gritty. He never loses like hope or like sometimes people can go in there kind of mentally broken. Like that's not a problem for Jiri. Like he's like almost slightly slow, but it helps him.
I think that way because he's literally on the spectrum.
Exactly, like he's like on the so like he's not even gonna process nerve. Like he's just gonna go fight the way he always fights. Whereas Khalil, there's a chance that he might not show up the exact same. You know what I'm saying? Like I think it's a 50-50 fight though. They're both great fighters. I'm not sure. But go ahead.
Let me ask you this though. Okay, so Khalil and Pereira Khalil has a Muay Thai style, Pereira has a kickboxing style. But their striking is very traditional, right? Like Khalil has a very traditional Muay Thai style. Pereira has a traditional kickboxing style, right? But unlike most kickboxing fights, they're kind of like just all gas, no brakes because it's a 3-minute round, right? And there's only like five rounds. But in MMA, Pereira approaches it more calmly. He's not like he doesn't press forward and is super aggressive. He's more like patient on the outside, right? Which is similar to how Khalil fights. Khalil is very patient, calm on the outside, right? That style gave Prochazka a lot of trouble, right? So my question is to you: do you not foresee that Khalil might give Pereira a lot of trouble, considering he also has a very similar style in a sense where he's very traditional and very calm and stays on the outside?
Well, the thing is that the height difference is just so drastic. The size is drastic, and the shot selection is a lot different, right? Okay. The shot selection from Alex Pieta is like a left hook. The shot selection from Khalil Rountree is like leg kicks and like, just simple regular punches and stuff like that. But I think the shot selection is different. The height is different. Is Khalil orthodox or southpaw?
I think he's southpaw.
Okay, so if he's a southpaw, and then Alex Pieta is an orthodox, so that makes a difference right there.
And Khalil,
that's another big difference. Right?
And Pereira throws a lot of leg kicks as well, and that's something that Prochazka was struggling with. And if Khalil does
that's
as well,
something that could help. Yeah, that right there, that could make a big difference because for somebody like Jiri who moves around a lot, you got to slow him down. You got to go to the legs, you got to go to the body, and you can't let him draw you into some kind of a firefight. You got to play your game, whereas Jamal Hill kind of fell into his game a little bit. Yeah. So I think because Khalil's more slow and composed, he might not fall into that style. So he could do well, but can he get overwhelmed with the work ethic of Jiri? Because Jiri has a work ethic.
Yeah.
He works hard. He's constantly moving. He's making you fight. Like it's an interesting fight, man. I'm not sure how it's gonna play out. I wouldn't even bet on that fight, man, because I don't know if Jamal Hill's going to show up and be, and dominate the way he did Jamal, or is he going to gas out? Because, Jiri has 5 strong. This is not a 5-round fight, is it? Is this a 3-round fight?
I think it's a 3-rounder. Yeah, it's a 3-rounder.
I think it's a 3-round fight. Damn, okay, so that makes another difference. See, I'm going to put that on Jiri's side then. Because Jiri for 3 rounds is going to be a fast pace. Jamal Hill is going to have to. That makes a difference. What do you think about that?
Yeah, that does make a difference because Prochazka is not going to be concerned. I mean, he always has great cardio, but he's not going to need to. Like him fighting in a 3-round style, I think is a nightmare for most people. Just because I feel like he's gonna have a different mindset. If you look at when he fights, I mean, he essentially fights the same way regardless of what the rounds are.
I was gonna say he's smacked the same no matter what.
I think maybe if anything, maybe it could also benefit Khalil, because Khalil, it's not a 5-rounder. He doesn't have to be concerned with being tired.
That's true. He only has to win. You gotta go hard for 2 rounds, really.
That's it. Because Prochazka's gonna fight regardless the same. He don't matter. We already established he on the spectrum. He don't care. I don't even think he sees rounds. But Khalil got 3 rounds, less time. All he got to do is bank in 2, and he could just coast the last one, and that's it.
Damn, that's another interesting take right there. So that's another part that's gonna play a factor. Not sure, man. Yeah, I wouldn't bet on it though, man. Me personally, I'm calling it 50-50. Whoever wins, I'm not gonna be like, wow. It could go either way. They're both good fighters, different styles. They're both winners.
That's gonna be fight of the night, I think.
We're gonna end